Tonight, friends and family mourn 3 Marines killed in Afghanistan, 2 having strong ties to central Pennsylvania. A suicide bomb claiming the lives of Corporal Robert Hendricks, Sergeant Benjamin Hines, and Staff Sergeant Christopher Slutman. On Monday, a bomb exploded by a car they were driving. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Jasmine Brooks.
And I'm Rob Hanrahan. Both Hines and Slutman were stationed out of the reserve base in Harrisburg and have roots in York County. We have live team coverage tonight to pay tribute to these fallen heroes, beginning with CBS 21's Brian Sheehan, who spoke with the family of Sergeant Slutman. His parents call York County home. Brian.
Rob and Jasmine, Fletcher Slutman was expecting his son Chris's arrival home from Afghanistan in the coming weeks. Now, instead of preparing for his homecoming, they are planning for his funeral. It was a usual night at the Slutman's Lower Windsor Township home Monday until 2 men in uniform arrived at their front door.
They sat down and they said, "Do you want to call your wife in?" And I was shaking. And he said, so I said, "Mary, we got some Marines here. They want to talk to us."
Those Marines would tell Fletcher Slutman and his wife that their son, 43-year-old Christopher Slutman, was killed in Afghanistan earlier that day.
I asked him, I said, "Was this combat or just an accident?" He said it was combat.
On Monday, Slutman and 2 other U.S. Marines were killed when a roadside bomb went off outside a military base in Afghanistan. The Taliban claimed responsibility. Slutman tells us his son, a New York City firefighter and U.S. Marine, leaves behind a trove of memories.
Good son. He was always involved with sports, so we were always doing that together.
Slutman is expected to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. He leaves behind a wife and 3 young girls. In Lower Windsor Township, York County, I'm Brian Sheehan, CBS 21 News.
All right, Brian, thanks. Sergeant Benjamin Hines also has ties to York County.
CBS 21's Michael Gorsinger continues our live team coverage with how the Dallastown community is now remembering his life and service. Michael?
Dallastown is a community that really knows about their service. This plaque right here on American Legion Post 605 says it all, honoring those who made the supreme sacrifice. The latest name on that list right here, Sergeant Benjamin Hines. Hey! A gun salute honors the lives of the fallen. The latest, 31-year-old Benjamin Hines.
Terrible news is just sadness and sympathy for the families.
Hines, a 2006 Dallastown High School graduate, played football for the Wildcats while serving as one of 2 commanders of the junior ROTC program. After graduation, the Marine Sergeant served in Operation Iraqi Freedom, one of his 3 deployments.
We can feel their pain, believe me. We can feel their pain. We know what they're going through.
No group knows pain and service more than these veterans from American Legion Post 605 in Dallastown.
Our condolences with the families. They lost their sons.
On a day where the community is feeling a great loss, this group gathers for another veteran's funeral to honor someone who served his country admirably.
Just glad to do it for the family that we're take care of the veterans.
And taking care of the families and the men and women who serve is Post 605's mission. Today, they do their duties with a heavy heart, recognizing freedom doesn't come without a cost.
When somebody gets killed, I mean, it really affects you.
We're there to help them any which way we can.
It's just not much you can say other than, you know, we're there for you.
Order! Hey! Dallastown Superintendent Ron Dyer tells me everyone that knew Ben Hines speaks highly of him and his service to his country. Says the district is planning on honoring the 2006 graduate. At this point, they don't have any details about what's going to be done. Funeral arrangements also have not yet been announced. Live in Dallastown, York County, Michael Gorsinger, CBS 21 News.
And in recent years, 2 other Marines from York County have also died in the line of duty. In August of 2011, Marine Sergeant Chris Wrinkle died while serving in Afghanistan. And in 2004, just days before Thanksgiving, Marine Corporal Michael Cohen died while fighting in Fallujah. Both Wrinkle and Cohen also went to Dallastown High School.
And those Marines are still being remembered today. Senator Kristen Phillips Hill wants to name a York County bridge after Wrinkle and the service dog he tried to save. The Senate approved the bill unanimously today. If the House passes it as well, the Ironstone Hill Road Bridge will be renamed Christopher M. Wrinkle and Tosca Memorial Bridge. The bridge goes over an east branch of the Codorus Creek.
The war in Afghanistan is America's longest-running conflict. Since it started in October of 2001, more than 2,000 U.S. troops have been killed. I spoke to CBS News national security correspondent David Martin earlier today. According to him, the U.S. military says we must keep a military presence in Afghanistan to keep attacking terrorist groups.
If you leave them alone, let Afghanistan once again become a sanctuary for terrorist groups, then they will start not just fighting to survive, but they will start planning and plotting to conduct another attack against the United States homeland.
Martin says both the U.S. and the Taliban know they can't win this war, and they must end through a negotiated peace settlement. You can hear more from David Martin on the CBS Evening News right after our show ends at 6:30.
And our coverage of the fallen Marines continues online. Follow along as we learn more about these three heroes on our social media pages and on our website, cbs21.com.
Discover Lancaster, the county's tourism bureau, is canceling its annual meeting at the Star Barn. In a statement, Discover Lancaster says it will not be able to, quote, fulfill its purpose of celebrating our tourism community. It comes as controversy surrounds the Star Barn, which announced earlier this month it would not host same-sex wedding ceremonies.
One person is dead, another in custody after a morning shooting in York. Police and crime scene tapes surround a home on West Princess Street where a man was found shot to death. So far, the coroner is not releasing the name of the victim as they try to notify the family. The suspect is also not being identified at this time.
And Lancaster City Police say now they have arrested and charged this man, Wilfred Ramos Rivera, for a stabbing that left one man in the hospital. It happened last week on Green Street. Police say he stabbed the victim in the stomach after a fight. The victim's in the hospital tonight, but in stable condition. As for the suspect, Ramos Rivera, he is charged with attempted criminal homicide.
A Downingtown man will spend up to 8 years in prison for a hit-and-run crash that left one woman with 22 broken bones. The Lancaster County DA says this man, Mark Harvey, was driving under the influence when he hit another car, flipping it over, and ran from the scene. It happened on Route 30 last June. The DA says the victim will likely be in physical therapy for the rest of her life.
Could have filled a boat up within seconds.
Still ahead, the dangers of low-head dams, why even city officials had trouble putting warning signs on the Susquehanna River. But first, CBS 21's Amanda Hoskins is live at the Capitol.
Multiple bills roaming the Capitol aimed at helping victims of sexual abuse. Why things could get messy coming up.
And still a bit of a chilly breeze here as we head into the evening. It's coming out of the north at about 13 miles per hour. Let's walk into tomorrow real quick. Not a bad evening, 48 degrees at 9 o'clock and then dipping to 40 by tomorrow morning. So a chilly night, your 7-day forecast straight ahead.
You're watching CBS 21 News at 6.
"35 states are considering legislative changes like those unanimously adopted by the Pennsylvania grand jury. It is now time for Pennsylvania lawmakers to do their part."
Attorney General Josh Shapiro calling on lawmakers to stand behind Senate Bill 540, introduced today by freshman Democrats. He says it doesn't address all of the recommendations made in his grand jury report on child sex abuse in PA, but he says it is a start. CBS 21's Amanda Hoskins is live at the Capitol with the latest on this legislation. Amanda, a lot floating around down there at the Capitol about the statute of limitations bills. Tell us about this Senate bill.
All right, Rob. Well, yeah, there is so much going on revolving around statute of limitations right now. But this bill in particular, like Shapiro said, it does address some of those things. It would eliminate the criminal statute of limitations, and it would also create that window that past victims are asking for. Now, he also said that all these other states are now considering very similar legislation, but Pennsylvania still isn't there yet, and he needs everyone to jump on board. And senators feel like this is the best way to address all those needs.
That's that one Senate bill. They have another, the Senate at least, has another bill coming their way from the House also. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the bill in the House is a little bit different. Now, this is sponsored by Representative Mark Rozzi, who we've seen in and out of this for such a long time now. Now, this bill would eliminate the criminal statute of limitations. It would also change the civil age from 30 to 55. And the last measure that it would do is part of a different bill, but they're going to be signed on together. And this would amend the Constitution to say that it is constitutional to create that retroactive window, but it still wouldn't change and create that window. It would only change the wording in the Constitution. And this has been heavily criticized because it would take such a longer process, is what many people are saying. But Representative Rozzi says basically what will happen is it will have to go before 2 legislative sessions. The language will not be able to be changed at all. And then at that point, if it goes through that process, then it will go to the voters and the voters will decide. Well, the people that are criticizing it say this isn't going to happen until 2022. At the earliest, but Rozzi believes that this is the best way to get all of this done, and you can hear more from him and from some of the people that are criticizing this bill. We'll have that tonight at 10 and 11. Rob, we're going to send it back to you.
CBS 21's Amanda Hoskins reporting. Thanks, Amanda.
Still ahead, safety on the Susquehanna. CBS 21's Karina Chung live there tonight. Karina.
Well, Jasmine, safety measures in place after 2 people killed here at the Dock Street Dam a year ago. Why it was a struggle to get buoys installed.
40 new buoys with LED lights now grace the Susquehanna River, warning everyone about the Dock Street Dam. But installing them was not an easy task. As CBS 21's Karina Chung reports, the city struggled to find someone for the job. She's live along the river. Karina?
Well, Jasmine, Mayor Eric Pappenfuss tells me that contractors were worried they themselves would get sucked into the dam or they would damage their boats. Now, these are here now thanks to the Harrisburg Fire Department. A $20,000 investment in safety. That's what these buoys are, floating up and downstream from the Dock Street Dam. 3-year-old Madeline Binkley and her mother, Mary Breadbenner, were killed last year after they were sucked into the dam. The city required by law to install these safety measures by the Fish and Boat Commission. Mayor Eric Pappenfuss says contractors told them they couldn't do the job for multiple reasons. That's when he asked Harrisburg Fire to get the job done.
The stretch of the dam here is almost a mile long. It's a very long portion of the river. The buoys are heavy, the river is powerful. People were concerned about getting sucked in or damage to their boats.
Not only do you have to deal with current flows and river height, but then also if the current flows are up, debris, logs, other type of debris can come down and actually push those chains and move those buoys.
And Mayor Pappenfuss says the buoys, moving downriver is an obstacle, and he says if there is any flooding expected here along the Susquehanna, they'll take those buoys out. Reporting live in Harrisburg, I'm Karina Chung, CBS 21 News.
All right, Karina, as you said last May, Mary Breadbenner and 3-year-old Madeline Binkley drowned in a boating accident at the Dock Street Dam. Cody Binkley, who is Mary's fiancé and Madeline's dad, was charged in the incident. Investigators say he was high when he drove their boat into the dam. Binkley's next court appearance is scheduled for April 24th.
The State House and Senate came together today to remember the victims of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting in October that left 11 people dead. Speaker of the House, Mike Turzai, says the legislature hasn't had a joint session like this since they gathered to honor those who died on 9/11. In a memorial service, lawmakers were joined by members of the 3 congregations at the Tree of Life Synagogue. The General Assembly is proclaiming April 10th Stronger Than Hate Day.
Advocates rally at the Capitol pushing to expand the Commonwealth's energy portfolio. Lawmakers want 30% of it to come from renewable energy sources, including nuclear energy. A similar House bill required companies to purchase some nuclear energy. Critics call it the 3 Mile Island bailout.
The costs of renewable energy are far lower than many other forms of electricity, and in fact, they're coming down. And as the gentleman from Pittsburgh just said, this ultimately is going to save ratepayers over time.
Citizens Against Nuclear Bailouts, a natural gas industry funded group, argue that the proposal would hurt customers.
And now, CBS 21 News First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tom Russell.
Well, fortunately, the signs of spring are everywhere. Maybe you had to mow the lawn today. You're seeing the flowers pop up, and a snowstorm. Oh, yes, in the nation's heartland. Look at this. In the upper Midwest, we're talking about from Colorado through the Dakotas over towards Minneapolis, Minnesota, over towards Milwaukee, Wisconsin. See all that blue? That is snow, and not just some light snow. This is a major snowstorm, a blizzard in many areas where you're seeing the winds, you're seeing the very heavy snow. In particular here, as you go from Minneapolis down to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. See all that blue there? They're anticipating maybe a foot in some locations, foot and a half, even some isolated spots at 2 feet of snow. So yeah, we're thinking springtime back here in central PA. So it's looking good. We've had a few high thin clouds. You can see that here, but for the most part, it's a pretty nice day, turning into a pretty nice evening. However, it will be chillier than we've been. You know, we've been in the 70s, and then the overnight lows have been staying in the 50s, even 60s. Not the case tonight. So we got a northwest flow. That's the wind direction. You see here a little bit of the more northerly here in Harrisburg right now. 11-mile-per-hour wind there at State College, 14 in Johnstown. So still a little breezy, but the winds diminish somewhat tonight. And riding on those winds, how about all that pollen? Yeah, you're probably feeling it if you're an allergy sufferer. Tree pollen is high, mainly juniper and maple. Grass now, that's really getting this kick into high gear as well. So 'tis the season for the allergy stuff. You're probably feeling that. What we need is a little rain to clear that air out. We will get that later this week. So we got another dry day tomorrow. No problems Thursday, but rain comes back Friday. We get a break Saturday and rain again on Sunday. So let's play that out for you, show you how that works here as we get a pretty quiet night tonight, a pretty decent day tomorrow, and then here comes the rain, but not until Friday night. So Friday is dry. We get some rain Friday night, wraps up early on Saturday. So Saturday is a break from the rain, but watch this, comes right back for the second half of the weekend. By Sunday afternoon, here come the showers, and this one lingers for a while. This could be a pretty good soaker Sunday night, and still raining Monday morning at 8:30, so your Monday morning commute is affected. And notice that spin kind of right over top of us, and then it doesn't pull away until later in the day on Monday. So a couple of chances for rain. But we got a big weekend coming up, and we get a break in that rain for the Blue-White game in State College at Beaver Stadium. This is pretty darn nice for a spring football game. Mostly sunny, breezy, and 71 degrees. I like that. Remember, a little chillier tonight. Clear skies down to 40 for the overnight low. Let's get to your 7-day. A dry day tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, right around 60 for the high. We're windy pretty much on into the weekend. So clouds increase on Friday. Rain comes in Friday night, wraps up early Saturday. Saturday's our break, and then more rain Sunday, lingering into Monday of next week. But at least temperatures are a little more spring-like there.
They sure are.
And these are just April showers, you know, we need them.
Yeah, for the Mayflowers.
There, exactly.
It's all grass.
All right, thanks.
Well, facing cancer, scary for anyone, likely even more so if you're a teenager. Next, we'll hear how a student athlete fights the disease by sharing his story. Cancer is always scary, but this kind can also be embarrassing. A high school athlete with testicular cancer is now talking about it, so others will do the same.
But while we were covering this story, it took an unexpected turn. CBS 21 sports director Joldy Smith introduces us to the volleyball player going through the shock and struggle of the disease the only way he knows how.
We were just like having a normal conversation. Me and my brother were in the back of the car, and I just kind of went out of nowhere, and I was just like, there's a lump on my right nut.
We thought he was joking. We quickly figured out that he wasn't.
Got an ultrasound done, and he came into the room after reviewing, and he said, there's no way to sugarcoat this, it's cancer.
Zach Johnson is 17, a runner, Eagle Scout, and volleyball player from Manheim Township. And now, a cancer patient.
Really? Cancer? You know, you just, it takes quite a while to sink in. It takes quite a while. Yeah.
That's just very scary too, because it's like, that's mine. Like, right. Don't touch that.
So Zach was able to just detect this cancer early, and that was crucial for limiting the diagnostic stage and to reduce the amount of chemotherapy that we gave him.
He endured 90 days and knew that should be enough to get him back on the court.
Obviously, playing volleyball is really important, and that'll be a lot of fun.
This is the part of the story where I'm supposed to tell you that Zach is back and playing again. And he is. The problem is, he won't be for long.
Well, we have had a couple of unfortunate setbacks.
Instead of finishing the season on the court, another surgery is scheduled for next week.
Probably a 6+ hour surgery, they're saying, with a team of surgeon specialists.
So in the meantime, they are allowing Zach to play, wearing a modified pad over that port that's still in his body.
It feels amazing. It's just, I love volleyball so much.
If he didn't have this and we were sort of sitting around at home waiting for this next step to occur in 3 weeks, it would be terrible.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge more than I think the first time around.
Zach wants to challenge others to test themselves. Cancer is most common in males between the ages of 15 and 35. It might feel like something solid on the testicle or aching in the groin area. Each year, more than 9,000 males are diagnosed with testicular cancer in the U.S., but if caught early, the survival rate is 99%. The frustrating part for Zach is they did catch it early.
We were in that 90 percentile before, but they did say that that is not necessarily that it gets it all through the first time.
They say they've all learned the importance of faith and family when it comes to fighting cancer. And although it has changed Zach's look and body, it hasn't touched his character. He's still the kid in the back seat, delivering serious news his way with a smirk and a smile. Joel D. Smith, CBS 21 Sports.
A brave guy. We also have an update from Zach's family. They say his volleyball season is now over.
And Zach is in the hospital preparing for surgery next week. And of course, we wish him all the best.
We sure do.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got pretty quiet weather here for the middle part of the week. So a little chillier tonight as we get down to 40. Then tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 60 degrees. Next chance for rain, that'll be Friday night into very early Saturday.
All right, and that's it for CBS 21 News at 6. The CBS Evening News is next.
We hope to see you again tonight at 10 and 11. Thank you for watching. Good night.